Hello and welcome to Brands Hatch for the penultimate Dunlop Great and British Festival race meeting of 2010. And with all of the championships still up for grabs, some hard-fought racing I'm sure we'll see. The first of which is the Dunlop Sport Maxx Production Cup, and the car that should start on the outside of the second row of the grid, Martin Wallbank, unable to start and due to start from the pit lane. Off they go, the two Nissan 370Zs on the front row of the grid, but it's a good start from the blue Astra VXR of Ryan Bensley. A very good start also, and round the outside from Gary Duckman on a slightly damp track here at Brands Hatch as they feed their way through Paddock Hill Bend for the first time. Getting very sideways indeed is Gary Duckman. That good start initially has just dropped him down through the order subtly, and as they head up towards Druids for the first time, Gary Duckman sits there in fourth position at the moment. There's car number 44, our Class B leader. That's Andre Maggi at the wheel of the Mini Cooper S. Down in towards Graham Hill Bend for the first time. And it's Chris Ward, the chief instructor at Silverstone. Again, very sideways from Gary Duckman. Clearly these tricky conditions catching out the former Porsche 924 champion. And Bensley takes the lead as they go down the Cooper Straight. Ryan Bensley, the youngster from Kings Lynn, manages to grasp the lead of the race. Chris Ward in the Nissan down into second place. However, he's got championship leader Adrian Churchill nipping at his heels in the Courtney Sport Astra VXR as they feed their way onto Clark Curve for the first time. Over the start-finish line they go, and it looks like Churchill's made it through up the inside at Clark Curve. So it's an Astra 1-2. Side by side, however, Chris Ward is, as they head up towards Paddock Hill Bend. The Astra up the inside as they turn through the right-hander and then dive down the hill. He's made it through as Adrian Churchill. We want to try and get away cleanly now because Ryan Bensley already has opened up a bit of daylight in the lead of the race. Here's Gary Duckman in fourth place as well, having a look at the inside of the Nissan. Not quite able to squeeze his way through. As we ride on board with Gary Duckman. This was the championship winning car from last year when it was in the hands of Simon Shaw. In towards the left-hander at Graham Hill Bend. The whole of the Indy circuit having been newly resurfaced in the week as well. So very new and virgin tarmac for all of these drivers to try and contend with this weekend. As Gary Duckman makes his way through Surtees, then up towards McLaren and then on towards Clearways. And now you can see that Adrian Churchill is starting to reel in the leader of the race. Equally as much Chris Ward in that Nissan is being caught by Gary Duckman. It looks as though we've had someone deposit themselves in the gravel trap further down through the field. I think that might be the car of Dan Malone, the second of the two Nissans that we've got in the field in the gravel trap there. In fact, indeed it is. Yep, Dan Malone, the teenager from Conway in North Wales, into the gravel trap at the bottom of Paddock Hill Bend. That's not in the safest of places either, and by the look of things, it's bringing about the safety car. So the race being brought to a controlled status whilst the car of Dan Malone is recovered onto the infield into a position of, well, substantial more safety. As we're about to get the restart underway, Gary Duckman chasing Chris Ward towards the start-finish line. There's no overtaking until he gets to the start-finish line. He's squeezing his way up the inside. They've not got there yet. So Gary Duckman goes through, but I suspect the officials may take a somewhat dim view of that. In theory, there's no overtaking until they reach the start-finish line, but already Gary Duckman not hanging about. He's up to third position, ahead of Chris Ward, the chief instructor from Silverstone in the first of the two Nissans. There goes Ryan Bensley with Adrian Churchill in second place. Then the Seat Leon of Gary Duckman heads the two Nissans. Tom Carnaby, his first weekend in the Dunlop Sport Maxx Production Cup, sits there in sixth position at the moment as they carve their way down into the left-hander at Graham Hill Bend. It's going very well indeed in the four-cylinder turbocharged Astra, hunting down the two six-cylinder Nissans. As the race leaders once more will head through the final few twists and turns. Here's the Class B battle as well. Andre Maggi at the wheel of the Lowen Mini Cooper S being chased and harried by Kevin George in that Corsa VXR. They're having a titanic battle for the lead of the class. Class B catering for those cars with between 130 and 160 brake horsepower per tonne. And Kevin George trying to take the lead of the class on the run up Halewood Hill. He's got the inside line when they get to Druids Corner, and he's squeezed his way through. So good racing that from Kevin George. We've seen him win the class at previous race meetings. He's lying fourth in the Class B Championship coming into this weekend, but he's doing great things about trying to hoist his way up in that championship battle. Here comes the battle for the lead of the race, with Churchill getting very close to the tail of Ryan Bensley. There's contact between the two of them, surely. Bensley spins out on the outside of Clearways Corner. Churchill goes through and takes the lead of the race. You can see just a bit of damage to the front corner there of Adrian Churchill's car. Courtney Sport car leads on the road as things stand. We ride on board with Gary Duckman once more. Up towards Clearways he comes, now in second position. You can see Adrian Churchill directly ahead of him. Great variety is always the case in the Sport Maxx Production Cup, but it looks so Churchill is going to sprint towards the line and claims honours in the first of the Dunlop Sport Maxx Production Cup races that we have here at Brands Hatch this weekend. He claims the victory. Gary Duckman over the line in second position. However, the officials here at Brands Hatch taking a dim view of Adrian Churchill's attempt to take the lead, and also a dim view of Gary Duckman overtaking before the start-finish line. So Chris Ward takes the win from Gary Duckman in second place. Ryan Bensley